Hey everybody, it is Liz with Liz Art Finds. I am a part-time reseller on Niknax and eBay, and I'm here today with another haul video, and it was a doozy. So before I get to the haul, I'm going to go over a couple things, but the haul was from my trip to Rhode Island, the second part, because I think we did a bonus video where I had some of the first part. And it's the rest of the stuff I got while I was on vacation, and a little bit of an auction haul when I came back. It was kind of the next day I went and picked up some things. The value is huge. So usually I'm like, oh, it's like 3 times what I paid for it. But I think overall we're at least 6 times what I paid for things this week. And it's some good stuff. And I learned some stuff. But before we get to that, let's just go through what sold. Couple quick sales over on eBay, nothing major. I sold this art glass plate that I've probably had listed for a couple years. And the weird thing is, I remember picking it up at an antique mall in Maryland, Boonesboro maybe. One of the other, it wasn't actually Boonesboro, it was just one of the other antique malls in that area. I cannot for the life of me find the receipt or what I paid for it. So I don't know the profit I made on this. My guess is I paid up a bit. I probably paid $8 or $9 or $10 for it. It sold for only $14. I had it originally listed like in the 20s and just kept dropping it. So anyway, it sold. I'm happy it's moved on to its new owner, and that makes me happy. And then these shoelaces I had originally bought for 25 cents. They sold for $1.99. So that was eBay. And then over on Niknax, I actually participated in the Fast Friday freight train. Those pop up so fast, like on a Tuesday, and you get everything listed, and then you have 15 minutes on a Friday, and it's boom, boom, boom. So this one was about colors. Mine was the color blue. That is what I chose. 15 minutes goes fast. So I only sold a few things, and I did not make a huge profit because I made a couple oopsies behind the scenes, but that's a whole nother story. So big sale, 2 Pablo's de Ball. There were 2 different ones. I don't know if you remember, I got them in a baggie, and I think I paid $1.50 for the baggie. So I paid, or maybe there was other stuff in there, I don't remember, but I paid 75 cents for each of these, and they each sold. One sold for 8 and one sold for 10. The $8 one had a little bit of a boo-boo to its nose, but 18, so that was basically $1.50 into 18 on those, which was great. The little hippo, which I just picked up recently, I'm not even sure if I showed it to you guys. I think I did. So I originally paid $2 for the little hippo guy. He was also in a baggie, and he sold for 9. So that was cool. And one I didn't show you guys that was part of my haul in Rhode Island, which I will talk about in a little bit. This was a little oil lamp, and it was like marbled. It was blown glass. It was marbled green and blue and white. I picked it up at Savers in Rhode Island for $2.99, and it sold for $8. And then I had a couple oopsies. So I bought this piece a while ago for $14, and I paid shipping on it because I bought it from another seller. I got excited in a sale, and when I got it, I realized it had basically a oopsie on it, like a little boo-boo right here where the dichro has kind of peeled away. So I listed it low, and it sold with no other bids. It sold for $8. So I paid $14, sold for $8. And I paid shipping too, so I paid more than $14, and there were fees on it, so I lost money on that guy. Not a good pickup. Yeah, I would say lesson learned, but I don't seem to learn. Excuse me. So, and then the other oopsie, this Milson & Lewis trinket box I picked up. Again, I paid up for it. I got this at one of the antique malls down in North Carolina last year, and it was really cool. And I did a like mid-year cat sale, I think in November, and he didn't sell there, and I moved him into the buy it now. But what I didn't do was adjust his price. So normally when I auction something, I start it below what I want it to sell for. I sell, you know, hopefully I mark it up a little bit, but I sell it for less than what it would sell for on eBay or if I'm selling at full price, because I want people to be able to bid, right? And I want people to be able to get a deal if they want to get a deal at auction. So anyway, I had listed him or started him in my auction at $12, and I had originally paid $15 for him, and apparently I moved him into the buy it now and left the $12 there, and he sold during my show for $12. So that was another oopsie. I lost a little bit of money on him. So even though I had like $55 in sales in 15 minutes, which was fantastic, I made about $15, $16 net profit after the fees and after the cost of goods, which in a couple cases was a little high. So, you know, win some, lose some. But anyway, let's get into this week's haul. Oh, one other quick announcement. Cat show. Big cat show coming up on Niknax. The 17th of this month, May 2025. And I'm aiming to get 100 cats loaded into the system. I've got, I think, 49 loaded so far. My goal by the end of today is 60. And, excuse me, and I'm hoping to get all 100 in no later than the 10th, so you guys have a full week to look through everything and put in any pre-bids. And then the show starts at 6:30 p.m. Eastern on the 17th. And I hope you all can make it. If, you know, if nothing else, just to kind of be there and be in the chat and, you know, keep me company, because it's going to be a long show, but it's going to be really fun. All right, the haul. There's some cool stuff. I'm so excited. All right, so I'm just going to go in the order that I have them written down here. They're not in the order I picked them up, but the order that I wrote them down. So anyway, Savers, I think it's the order that I checked out, like with the little scanner. In Rhode Island, I went back to Savers one last time before I headed home, and it was a jackpot day. Okay, so I've got a piece of studio pottery here. Now, this is not by anybody famous as far as I know, but it's really pretty. And it's signed on the back. I think it says Patsy at the bottom here. Okay. It's got another mark, which is probably her studio mark. So this may be a prolific potter. I just haven't been able to find anything yet. But it's a beautiful, beautiful piece. I paid $3.74 for this. It's kind of a bowl. I wrote down plate, but it's kind of more of a bowl. And I would say this will probably go 24 to 32-ish, maybe 18 if I do it in an auction. But definitely more than $3.74. It's a gorgeous piece of pottery. So I was pretty excited about that. And again, you know, if I were to sell it over on eBay, I'd probably start it high and then over time drop prices if it did not sell. But I have a pottery show coming up on the 24th and always looking for studio pottery for that. So this will probably be available there, which means I'll be loading it in after I finish loading in my cats. I'm going to start loading in my pottery so people can see and pre-bid on that before the show. All right, the next piece I picked up was a little planter. Now, this is a little lamb. I just loved his little kitschy face. I just think he's adorable. If you are someone who does a lot of houseplants and stuff, and you like the kitschy stuff, she's a good one. I did recently hear a reseller say that the gender-specific, like baby planters, are not selling as well. And I do currently have two. I would consider this to be more of a girl's room, and then the boy with the glove that I think I showed recently would be more of a boy one. I haven't tried them yet, so I don't know how well they're going to sell. These, I paid $4.12 for him or her. The solds are in the 15 to 18 range. So we'll see. I'm trying something new. I thought it was cute. It didn't have any chips or cracks, and you know, I picked it up. Then I picked up the oil lamp that we talked about that already sold. So I paid $2.99 for that. It sold for $8. Then I found this Talavera mug. It was different to me in that it had a skull on it. I haven't seen those. And I know there's some people that are really into the Dios de Muertos, the Day of the Dead. So maybe around Halloween time. And it says Hecho on Mexico. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Talavera, Mexico. Ulysses. Ulises. And then it looks like there's some signature over here as well. It's kind of hard to tell. But anyway, I did find things like this online, similar design, different colors. And the solds on these are consistently in the 15 to 18 range. And I paid $2.24 for that. So that was a fun one. Then my next one is kind of one of my big ahas to share with you. So first I'm going to just go through like, okay, I saw this on the shelf and I'm like, oh, a gourd. You know I collect the gourds. I love picking up the gourds. But something's different about this gourd. It doesn't look like the other gourds. It doesn't look like the South American gourds. And it's got this really intricate thing on the top. And oh, wait a minute. The top comes off. What is this? You guys are going to love this. If you know, that's awesome because I had no idea. It's a cricket gourd. Okay. What? What's a cricket gourd? Well, apparently, and this was so much fun to learn about. Apparently, in China, in the olden days, they collected or they kept pet crickets. The sound of a cricket is very revered and loved, beloved, I guess is a good word. And they would keep crickets as pets. They would collect them and keep a cricket as a house pet. And then in the summer, they would keep them in clay vessels because those are cooling. And in the winter, they would keep them in gourds. And they would wax the outsides of the gourds. They would do designs and things on them. And eventually, over time, it grew into a whole industry where people were making custom gourd molds and growing the gourds specifically into elongated shapes and whatnot. And then doing really intricate perforated covers. Obviously, this is perforated so the crickets can breathe. But apparently when a gourd is waxed, it retains its heat. And they would put like bedding material in the bottom, and they would keep their crickets warm. And, you know, there's some really interesting facts. I printed out the whole article, and I'm not sure I'm going to go through it all. But there's some really interesting fun facts. And one is that you can tell the temperature of the air by the frequency of the cricket chirps, which I didn't know. And it starts as low as like, oh gosh, I wonder if it's in the article that I printed. Because it talked about how like it goes as low as 45 per minute means it's like really cold outside, and like 900 per minute or something is like really warm. That's probably an overstatement here. Yeah, I didn't print the right article. This article doesn't have that in it. But you can look it up online. It's really cool that, you know, cricket chirps depend on the temperature. And then the other thing that was really interesting is if there was danger, the pet crickets would stop chirping. So people would sense like if there was a disruption in the music that something was afoot. So really, really fun. They would go out and collect their crickets in the autumn and bring them inside through the winter. So this is a cricket gourd. It's so cool. Now, I do not know what the material is here. If it is ivory or bone or plastic or some other such thing, I don't know. I don't know if that will hamper my ability to sell it. I am going to put this on the Facebook page with the there's some identification of Asian artifact type Facebook pages, and I do want to get a little bit more information about what that material is. But you can see the emperors there. Like, I'm not sure what all of the designs are, but it's really cool and it's really different. And it was sitting on a shelf in Savers, and it blows my mind, okay? And other people, like, it was busy, right? But this isn't what people go into Savers to find. They're not looking for a cricket gourd from ancient China. So anyway, I'm so excited. I paid $2.24 for this thing. The solds on them are all over the place, from $30 to $270 plus, like hundreds of dollars. They're, you know, different variations, different ornatenesses, different age. I don't know how far back this dates, but I think it's the coolest thing, probably one of the coolest things I've ever found. So it was just so fun to learn about, and like just something you would never think of, right? So anyway, that was one of my favorite finds from the from this trip. So $2.24 into potentially, I don't know. I think 65 is probably a reasonable number, but I don't know. I'm probably going to hold on to that till I learn more about it. Okay, then talk about random. I found a glass fish ornament. This is a northern pike, apparently. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, please. I didn't find anything that looked exactly like this, but because it's very long and slender, that is what the Google Lens was saying, that it was a northern pike. But you can see this is all glass, glass blown. The fins are pulled. Just really cool. I just thought he was so cool. So anyway, I paid $3.74 for him. They probably sell 12 to 18. I mean, it's not a huge, you know, expensive thing, but for the right person, it's a really cool thing. So that was fun. Then I found this. Now this is another antique. It doesn't look like it is, but it is. So you can see the age on the back. Now I've tried to clean this as best as I can, and that is not coming out. That is some old coloration from some old use. And what's interesting about these when you see them online is they're all just a little bit different. These are hand painted. These sun things all seem to be very similar, but the center of them seems to be quite different. I only found one other one that had this thing that looks like a Y on it. But even that, like the painting on the back was different. So like mine just has a signature, what seems to be a signature, and one little wavy line. The other one online had something that was more akin to this Y-shaped signature. And then other people, like some of them have like the center of a flower, so like all circles in the middle, and there's just different ones, but the main design is the same. So I thought that was really cool. This is a antique blue and white porcelain plate with flower decoration from the QING dynasty. And it's, oh, actually I wrote QU. I don't know. It's the, I believe that dynasty ended in 1910. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it went for quite some time before that. And this was considered export ware. I saw somewhere else it said something about Diana and shipwreck, and I'm not sure what all of that means. But I do know that these are quite valuable. So I paid $4.49 for them. All of the solds right now are in the $65 to $110 range. So I think this would fall within that range. So that was super exciting to just find sitting on the shelf. Yeah, so it's in really good condition, and we'll try to get that dealt with shortly. I'm trying to figure out where to put it. Let me put this over here first, sorry. Okay, and then I found two side and stricker plates. Now what's interesting is around here in the DC area, I find a lot of Peggy Carr. Peggy Carr was in New Jersey, so that's not quite as far. Side and stricker was on, or is on Cape Cod in Massachusetts. So when I'm up in Rhode Island, it's much more likely that the fused glass that I find is side and stricker rather than Peggy Carr or one of the other glass artists. So I found this one. I'm not sure if I like it. I'm not a big fan of the color scheme, but it's a large plate. It's one of the 12-inch plates. And, you know, for the right person that has that color scheme, it's a beautiful plate. So I paid, hang on, I paid $5.24 for this guy, and they are 15 to 26 in this size. I think 18 to 24 is probably the right number for this. So there's that. Hang on. And then I found another side and striker plate that I really like. And I do have another one somewhere in this pattern, and apparently this is called the Embassy pattern. And both side and striker pieces are signed. This one in the center, it's just really hard to see because it's on white. The other one is off to one side. This guy I paid $2.24 for, and these Embassy ones, well, this size, again, it's based on the size. They sell 8 to 15. A lot of the ones that I see like this are sold as multiples, like as sets. There's not a lot of individuals listed in this size plate. But I will always pick them up when I find them, even though it's not worth a ton. They're still just really beautiful to me. All right, then I found a decanter, which, oops, hang on, let me grab the stopper first, and then the decanter. And this is Bohemian. This is Czech glass, and it's beautiful. It's hand painted. It's got, like, other people have written it as enameled flowers. It looks like they're just painted glass flowers on there in blue, and then there's some orange dots, and then everything else is like gold paint. And it's just really, really pretty. And it's got the gold rim, and the gold is still in good shape. It's not all worn off. Just a really nice piece. So I paid $5.24 for this. The solds on these are in the 24 to 32 range. And I think that's right about where it should be. So there's that. Then I found this little vase, which was so pretty. So this is like a little plum. It's just a hand-painted vase. Now this is made in Italy, and it's signed Made in Italy for Coutura. I don't know if that was an exporter. So that's just a really, really pretty vase. I picked that up for $3.37. One of them sold recently for $25. So that was a fun little pickup. And then I just found this one other beautiful dish I've never seen anything like. So I don't know what this dish is for. And if you know, please tell me in the comments. It is gorgeous. It is made in Japan, and it's got this handle, and it's all hand painted. And then it's got this fun little design feature on both sides. Just an absolutely beautiful, beautiful piece of porcelain. One of the listings has it as antique. I don't know if it is or if it's vintage. There's one currently listed for $72. I haven't seen any solds, and I'm having a hard time knowing what to call this shape. So I'm not really sure how to find others. Other than with the lens feature, and so far I'm only seeing that one right now that's listed at $72. I would put this around 35 to, I don't know, 48 maybe. I'm not really sure because like I said, I just have nothing to compare it to, but it is gorgeous. So I'm not sure where this one's going to go yet. Again, if you're interested in anything that I've found that hasn't been listed yet, message me. I can set up a private viewing or private listing for you where you can purchase it before anybody else ever has a shot. So anything you see, message me if there's something that you absolutely have to have, and I may be able to make that happen. All right, that was all at Savers. And then, and I think I hinted at this in my last video, I went to a Goodwill grand opening. And I think, like I said in my last video, I wasn't able to get there in the morning, which is sad because I missed out on, I'm sure, some amazing pieces, and I know of one amazing swung vase that somebody got for a steal. But I went in the afternoon after work, and it was still super fun, and they were loading the shelves pretty much constantly, so there was always new stuff to find. And I found some bargains. Like, I found some beautiful things, and it was so much fun. So, all right, the first thing I found was a nothing, but I'm just going to show you anyway because I need to be complete and comprehensive. So this is just a Minnie Mouse vase. I thought it would be cool. I didn't have a chance to look it up there. They only sell for 8 to 12. It's this version. I have other Minnie Mouse vases that sell for, I keep saying vases, mugs. It's a mug, y'all. Minnie Mouse mugs. It's hard to say. Minnie Mouse mugs, okay. This one, 8 to 12. Others that I have are in the 14 to 18 to 24 range, but this guy is not. But I picked it up anyway, just on a whim, and that was it. So I paid $3.99 for it. They sell for 8 to 12. It's not terrible. Then I found this gorgeous, gorgeous vase. Ah. So this is Glass Eye Studio. It's signed on the bottom. And what's interesting about this piece, and maybe what deterred other people from picking it up, was there was this black like glue. It was almost like tar on the bottom, and it was sticky to the touch. And it was kind of all over the vase. And so I couldn't tell that it was Glass Eye Studio, but I could tell it was something good. So I bought it anyway. I cleaned it up at my mom's. Actually, no, I cleaned it up when I got it back here. $2.99 is what I put into it. They sell right around $65. I think there's one or two that are sold and they're like right at $65. And it says Glass Eye, let's see if we've got a date on here. 19, I'm not gonna be able to see it, and my loop is in the other room. It's Glass Eye Studio, and it's vintage, and it's iridescent, and it's green, and it's got really fun little lines all the way through it, and it's awesome. And this is one of my favorite pieces. I mean, Cricket Gourd, my favorite, but this was exciting. All right, so there was that. Then I found a hand-thrown pottery vase, which is very well done. And this looks like it's a well-known studio. I'm not sure exactly which, and obviously cannot decipher this. So again, if you know who might have made this, well, let me know in the comments, please. That would be amazing. I will be posting this to a pottery group to try to get a solid ID on this before I sell it. And that will be in my pottery sale at the end of the month. Okay, then I found a pair of vases, and I found them at different times in the store, in different places. But they are both, I thought they were Polish, and the more research that I did, I believe them to be Swedish. Wait, let me grab them. But they are identical. So they are by the same company. One is a little thicker, this is a little thinner. You can even see it in the color that when you look at it. That's because the glass on this one is a little bit thicker than the glass on this one. They don't have any labels or stickers. This is the base. But Google Lens is telling me they are Aseda Glasbruk from Sweden, and I'm sure I said that wrong. Solds are in the 28 to 32 range each. I paid $2.99 each, so basically 10x on those, $2.99 to around $29. Or 30, so like I said, 28 to 32. The listeds are much higher. People are asking a lot for them, but when you look at the solds, 28 to 32 is what they're selling for. So that's those guys. Wait. All right, then I found an ornament, and I picked it up because it was different. It was glass. So the company is called Niknax Art. Niknax is actually Asian, I can't remember which language, for like inside painting. I think it might be Chinese, but don't quote me on that. It's like when you paint on the inside. So amazing work. This is Santa and a tree and a little town, and it's signed Susan Wingate right here. Okay, so I need to do a little bit of research on who she might be, and then there's that Niknax symbol. These were sold by Precious Moments, which is a direct sales company, I believe. But these are all hand painted, and if you go to the website on Niknax art, it talks about, it says all genuine Niknax art ornaments and gifts are created with the ancient technique of hand painting original art on the inside of mouth-blown glass. With meticulous attention to every detail, trained artisans use specially designed paintbrushes to recreate stunning works of original art. In Mandarin, okay, so Chinese, Niknax describes this centuries-old artistic tradition of painting on the inside of glass. And then it says Niknax art brings this tradition to a new level with the addition of licensed art from a variety of renowned artists. These high-quality home decor accessories showcase licensed art from some of the world's best-known artists to beautify contemporary homes. And then it says Niknax is used as the trademark for a line of inside art produced by Precious Moments. So that is what I know about this. Just a really beautiful ornament. Okay, and I paid $5.99 for it, so right around $6. The sold are for $30 to $45, although there was one that sold for $149. Most of them are around that $35 range. I'm not sure what was different about the one that sold for $149. But I think it's reasonable to assume right around $35, especially around the holidays. So we'll probably hold that either for a Christmas in July show or till later in the year. So that was that. And then a couple more things. I found this glass pyramid, which is really kind of a nothing, but I picked it up for my paperweight sale, which may or may not happen in at the end of this month, beginning of June. Right now, I am waitlisted to get into that show, and if I don't get into it, we're going to be either holding them till the next paperweight show, or doing my own paperweight show, or putting some of them into a glass show, or I've got a bunch of other thoughts on how I'm going to approach it. But anyway, that is why I picked this up. I paid $1.99 for it. It's not worth a ton. It might be worth 8 to 12. It might be worth 6 to 12. I mean, it's kind of like one of those end of the day. It looks like recycled glass. It's hard to see. I don't have my light here, but it's basically inside is green and blue. I don't think I can turn on I have like a backlight light. Maybe if I go to the side, you can see a little bit. It's basically green and blue swirls in there. But it's very unfinished on the bottom. So it just looks like it was end of day glass poured into a mold, hardened, voila, pyramid. So anyway, it's not a very high-end paperweight, but I picked it up because I pick up glass mostly all the time. And then my next favorite thing from that particular, I love the glass vase from that particular opening. I found this amazing fetish. Now this is a stone carved or alabaster, I don't know what kind of stone, carved stone fetish, and it's signed TSO. Okay, now there was a Navajo jeweler that did elaborate, beautiful turquoise and silver jewelry by the name of Tommy So, TSO. And he passed in 2019 or 2020. I don't know. Somehow, I think they said he passed of COVID. So I don't know if T-So or TC-So is Tommy or one of the other family members, but it is Navajo. Both the Navajo and the Zuni made fetishes or make fetishes. I don't know how old this is, but this is considered a table fetish, not one that you, like the little ones you would like put in your pocket for good luck and stuff. This is considered a table fetish. It's got a stand, it's much bigger, and I love it. So I paid $4.99 for this piece. They sell in the $24 to $42 range, okay? All right, so that was that, and then I got home, and I ran over to the auction house to pick up 2 lots of things. Now this is exciting, but weird. So first thing, when you see this picture, what are you envisioning? So when I saw this picture and when I bid on them online, I was envisioning some beautiful small vases that I could sell in a glass show. When I got there, they were ginormous. Now, on the positive side, I paid $26 for the lot of 4 ginormous vases. 3 of them are Icet, I-C-E-T, Murano art from Venezuela. So in the 50s, Murano trained artisan went to Venezuela and started a furnace there. And these are Icet, I-C-E-T, art Murano, Venezuela. I cannot find comps on these things. I'm going to show you these things because they're huge. Anyway, let's get into it. So the 3 art Murano pieces, I paid basically, like I said, $26 for the 4 of them. So I think it comes out to $6.75 each. Oh no, I'm sorry. I paid $27 for all of them. $6.75 each. I'm assuming that these three, not the cobalt one, I can sell for at least $65. This one, probably a little bit less. I wrote it down as 25 plus. Some of these may go even bigger, but this one is not the Icet piece. So just keep this little picture in mind. Okay. All right. And did they have the size written below? Yes, they did. Did I pay any attention to it? No. Do I think they got the size right? No. But anyway, this is the blue one, y'all. So if that, anyway, so I'm not shipping this. So this, and most of these will probably sell locally. I haven't done a lot of marketplace sales, but I do need to do, like I have a door and I have some stuff left over from my home renovation that I have to do on marketplace sometime this summer, and I may do these there. It's gorgeous. I don't know who made this one. It's got a pontil on the bottom, so it is hand blown, and it's got that controlled bubbles technique. There's a really cool YouTube video on how to make controlled bubbles, like how they do this. And it's actually, they take the glass and they dunk it into a special mold that makes all these little pinpricks around the glass. And then they get another layer of glass that's like clear, and they blow it. So every place that had a little indent turns into a bubble. It's really cool. So anyway, that's how they get these equally spaced bubbles. But this is ginormous. So I'm gonna say 25 on that guy. And I'm gonna show you the other 3, which I just think are gorgeous. So we'll start here because it's semi-closest. But again, a little bit bigger than I expected. It does have the Icet Art Murano sticker on it. This is a satin glass. It's a beautiful piece. Any contemporary home or even MCM, this would look beautiful as a decor piece. I think 65 plus. It might be less. It just depends. It depends how, where, when I sell it. It does have one little bubble in the glass. It's not popped or anything. It's just a little visual notation there. Okay. Then I'm going to show you this one. I'm going to show you the one I like the best last. So then there's this one. This isn't quite as huge. This is more like your standard fishbowl kind of size. It's got a nice little swirl of green and blue and amber colors on it. it still has a sticker and barcode, so that indicates to me that it is not that old. Barcode technology, I mean, it's not brand new, but it's not ancient either. But also made in Venezuela, really pretty piece of glass. And my favorite, my absolute favorite piece, I love this. I'm into color. It's just cool. It's satin glass like that other one I showed you. It also has its sticker on it. And it's just a really, really pretty piece. So yeah. Then there was one more lot. And this one's cool. So remember I showed you, I think 2 videos ago, last week, I think, that I picked up, it might have been before that, I don't know. I picked up that vase for me from Orient and Flume. It was also an auction pickup. So this week they had another Orient and Flume piece, and it's a seal, or a sea lion. Now what's cool about this, couple things. I believe Orient and Flume, I read somewhere that they're under new management as of a few years ago. I think the animals are newer. Don't quote me on that. There's not a lot of animals on the resale market right now. There are still some animals for sale on their website. I haven't found the seal or sea lion at all. I paid $24 for him, which is probably a little much. However, if you're buying a new animal on their website, they're $150 to $325. So $80 to $150 on the resale market. There are some smaller animals that I'm seeing. So I think he was worth the $24. He's going to live with me for a while because he's really cool. And I'm not sure when and where we're going to give someone else the opportunity to pick him up. But anyway, that was this week. So my total spend was $126.37 for all the things I showed you. I think a reasonable estimate, and I estimated those 4 ginormous vases. I think it only like $25 each when I did the estimate. I don't know, maybe $150 total. I came up with $748 of like what I really think is reasonable for all these things. So that's like a 6x return, which would be fantastic. It just depends, you know, some of these higher end pieces like the antique plate and the glass vase and the fetish and the cricket gourd, you know, we'll see where they end up. But really, really exciting. It was a crazy, exciting week. So I still have more to share. I've got a bunch of things in the queue to show you guys from since I got back. I've been home for a week. And yesterday, I think I told you guys I was going to go to a rummage sale, and I did, and found some good stuff, like really good price stuff there. And I went back to DC Big Flea, and I was a little bit disappointed. Like, it was a lot of the same vendors that were there before, and there wasn't a lot of new. So it was a lot of the same things that I saw a couple months ago. So I may skip the next one, we'll see. But I did pick up a few things, so we'll talk about that. But before that, I think I've got some other thrift store things. And yeah, so we're going to do another bonus video this week to get caught up to real time. Have a great week, everybody. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.